Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to analyzing the stories that I read out to you earlier. And my guest on the show today is Obadiah Mbila, CEO, Lovewalk Media. Great to have you on the show this morning, sir.
It's always my pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
All right, our phone lines are now open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your question, but please leave it at just 1 minute so we don't have to cut your call abruptly. Quite a number of stories, but let's start with the one that affects everyone. The Punch, if at all the nation's newspaper has the same, but we'll take it from the Punch, says OPS blames insecurity as food inflation hits 40.8%. And then the MBS links inflation to rising prices of millet, gari, yam, fish, groundnut oil, and others. Nasema, LCCI, others lament insecurity as they seek rural infrastructural development. But if you look at the first newspaper, talks about the bags of rice that the federal government distributed to the states, 36 states, including the federal government. And first newspaper says hardship, will federal government 20 truck of rice fix, that's 20 truck of rice to each state, fix it? Let me bring the question to you, Obadiah Mbila.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that when we have a crisis like the one that is presently confronting us here in Nigeria, the leadership, our leaders, had always come out with what looks like a fire brigade approach.
Is this one of them to you?
This is one of them, of course. When we are groaning under insufficient food supply, and then you think that the only way to eradicate or to ameliorate the situation is to supply more food. Looks like the situation in Uganda when Idi Amin was the president of Uganda, and inflation was rising, and Idi Amin came shocked, went straight to the mint and said, where's this business that money is, we are running short of money? He says, we are having inflation and we are managing it. What's your business here? Print more money. So that's exactly what President Tinubu and his team has done. Supply them food. Will the food you supply this month sustain the people?
And the food we're talking about is rice.
Of course, it's rice.
Raw rice.
We are not talking about the accompanying condiments like the tomatoes that is very basic in cooking rice. We are not talking of the meat that is required in making the stew for the rice. We are not even talking about the staple food that we are known for, the gari, that has now become, according to one blogger, he says now it has been tagged one of the groceries. So that automatically up the price. So sometimes when the government takes action, you begin to ask yourself, do they really have men with brain who can think through the challenges that is confronting us? What we are telling the government, and which everyone knows, is that we have food insecurity, and the challenge is over much. The people are groaning, and you say give them food. Yes, give them food, you feed them for a day, but what of the next day? I had expected an approach that brings alternative way of food production, especially in the northern areas where we have so much arable land that is not being cultivated because of insecurity. And come to think of it, this insecurity we are talking about, should we not give maximum protection to those that are producing the food that we're eating?
That's the farmers.
Yes, the farmers. Why would we allow the bandits to dictate how the farmers should farm, including who they should pay levy to? So if you want to farm, pay levy to us and then you farm. And the government is aware of this situation in most areas in the north. We used to call Benue State the food basket of the nation.
Right.
How much food is Benue State producing now? Are they still the food basket as they used to be? And if they are not, what is federal government doing to make sure that this food basket of ours returns to its original status? So bringing one bag of rice to every family will not even solve the problem. But not to talk of this one that we are hearing that, for instance, those of us from Abia State, I'm told that by the time they finish the distribution of the rice, it will not even go around with 20 cups per family, not per individual, per family. So it's like pouring salt in the mighty Atlantic Ocean. You can never feel the taste of the salt. That's one, and by the way, one part of the problem. In the past, we have watched and taken record of the distribution of palliative in this country, beginning with President Buhari's humanitarian ministry, that focus its attention, narrow attention to a particular section of the country, so that as far as that ministry was concerned, if you supply to Katsina, maybe KB, or most of the states in the Northwest, you have done your job.
All right, let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Liberty. I'm calling from Abuja.
Liberty from Abuja. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Yes. Thank you for your guest there. But let me say that it is really laughable for the state to respond to food insecurity by sharing rice. Now, if you situate it within the empirical study and rigorous intellectual debate, how many rural communities in this country, the household, eat rice every day? When I was growing up, in the community where I grew up from, rice is even regarded as an elite food. Eaten on Sundays. So if you think that taking rice is the solution, how many rural communities even eat rice? I think that the major problem the Nigerian state faces at the moment, it's because the consequence of subsidy removal, which has eroded the energy security and increased cost of production and cost of transportation, that has pushed its negative effect to the price of commodity. Let me conclude by saying the Nigerian state cannot be an exception. There is no country in the world that will survive without subsidy. Particularly when your subsidy is your energy security.
All right.
We shouldn't deceive ourselves.
All right. Thank you so much, Liberty.
They didn't succeed. So we shouldn't deceive ourselves. Have a wonderful celebration.
Have a wonderful day too, Liberty from Abuja.
Yes,
Go ahead, sir.
Such a very sound response. Well, I was talking about the other side of the distribution of the palliative. You discover that each time they talk about palliatives, after the distribution, go back to the areas where they distributed it. You find out that those that receive it are either the politicians that are members of that party, or their cronies will use it to hold it to share among themselves. So it will not even go down to those that it was meant to ameliorate their sufferings.
Just like giving school children food. On during lockdown.
That's right. And so much money was budgeted and released to that effect, but we didn't feel it. Finally, it is important to know that when they say the Chinese said, if it was what the Chinese said, and I believe that's what they said, he said, give a man a food, you feed him for a day. But teach a man how to fish. Sorry, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a whole lifetime. The Chinese has gone so far, despite their numerical strength and all that, that's supposed to be a very serious disadvantage in leadership. They have gone so far that everything is working in China. So why is it that they told themselves this truth many years ago, that we don't need to give a man a fish, rather we teach a man how to fish? And Nigeria in this century, in this 21st century, is still buying into what Chinese said people should stop. Don't give people fish, teach them how to fish. And Nigeria is giving us fish and not teaching us how to fish.
Is this even fish for you? Mbila? Is this like you called it 20 cups of rice?
Yes.
Is it fish for you?
That's what it means. If you are feeding the man for a day, according to the Chinese proverb, you give him food, you feed him for the day, as long as that food will last. You have not told him the next action that he's going to take so that he can be the producer of the food himself. And that's what we need here.
All right, let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm Abdul Malik from Shaki West Local Government, Oyo State.
Abdul Malik from Oyo. Please go ahead. You have 1 minute.
I'm really appreciate the analysis of Mr. Mbila.
Yeah.
He told the truth. Let the government teach us how to fish, not give us fish to eat every day. If you want to do that, they will subsidize the food for the people, not give them as a free gift.
All right.
You're supposed to subsidize it so that you can buy it at a cheaper rate. If you buy it at a cheaper rate, everybody knows how to work and buy that thing for himself.
I agree with you. All right. Thank you so much, Abdul Malik.
That's my opinion too.
All right. Thank you so much, Abdul Malik from Oyo State. Thank you for your contribution. Now, if you recall the China's one-child policy at the time, it also helped them. If you go to India, at some point most of them could not afford to buy a vehicle. Then they had that policy of Tata Motors, where people can now be able to at least afford to buy vehicles in India. And then you had when Marwa came to Nigeria, that's the Keke Napep, people started saying, oh, they brought in Indian poverty to Nigeria and all. Is it possible for us to look at such policies, either population-wise, or even look at ways that we can at least ameliorate Nigeria's situation in terms of you cannot buy a vehicle or you cannot buy food? Let's at least make these things cheaper for us instead of, like you said,
it's quite easy to manage Nigeria because Nigeria is greatly endowed. Is it in human capital or in natural resources? This country is greatly endowed. All that is required or is needed is leadership to give direction. Leadership that knows the time so that they can take action that would enhance productivity, action that would keep everyone engaged in one particular field or the other. If you are very competent in producing food, for instance, we have most communities in the north, they have arable lands and they have willing human capital that are ready to farm. Why is it that we don't go down to teach them how to make more profitable farming and also empower them with the needed materials they need to produce more? For instance, let us look at the species of cash crops they are producing and then give them a more productive seedlings,
okay,
so that their little effort can bring much.
But then some other persons will tell you that we are all not farmers. That's the argument they'll
That
we are all not farmers. So why give us?
No. I've not said that we should all farm. Although, let's understand what farming we are talking about. We are talking about those who should farm in a large scale. There are others who have spaces
in their garden.
Why can't you produce tomatoes? Why can't you produce granite?
And tomato is just as easy as just pour the water.
You just pour the thing and transplant. Just pour the seed. As soon as it sprouts out, you uproot it and transplant to where it should be. It's as simple as that. Then, of course, we can plant corn. We can plant. There are other cash crops that we can plant in the little space in our living areas. But we are talking of mass production. We must have to identify the areas that have sufficient land. We must have to identify what is bringing a setback for mass production. We must have to see how modern agricultural tools they need to be able to enhance productivity. We must give the farmers the prerequisite education that would help them to produce more. And then, very, very important, talk about subsidy. Should it be in the area of petroleum? Should it be in the energy sector? What of agriculture? In most countries, they buy off whatever thing you produce, and we house them for the time that it will be needed. I'm not going to mention any country in this wise, but it is important that we know that even these farmers, they need to be encouraged. So we must think on how to encourage them. It's good to remove fuel subsidy, as the president have done. But where did he channel that effort? Why didn't we use it for agricultural subsidy?
All right, let's take this call before we go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Afolabi calling from Niger State.
Afolabi from Niger State. Go ahead.
My contribution to this program is that giving rise to each of the states will not solve the problem. If me, living from Niger State, couldn't get mine, who do I go to and complain that I haven't got my share of the rice? I have nobody to go to. To me, you see, there is a disconnection within the logistics of this food. I believe, as small I am, during our days, the choice to be transported from Lagos through rail. Because I witnessed that.
All right.
It is where I bring the petrol to the railway station. That is where the trailers, tankers will now come and load and take it to the distribution.
All right. Thank you so much, Afolabi.
Yes, I have not seen that.
Thank you so much, Afolabi, for your contribution. Very well taken. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Victor from Lagos.
Victor from Lagos. Go ahead. Your mic is on.
Okay. I would say that this government is actually playing politics on our head, because they took us subsidy from the time being till now. What has the government accounted for that? Actually nothing. Now they want to distribute how many bags of rice to each of the states. Like your guest here said, one family will not get up to 5 cups of rice. How would that go around? There are a lot of things that government should do to help this nation. There are a lot of things. I don't know if they don't have actually capable people to handle the government. I don't know. But I think they're actually playing a lot of things that is only them that knows what they're doing to us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Very well taken. Hello, good morning. Good morning, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Thank you. Raimi from Abuja.
All right, Raimi from Abuja, go ahead.
I think if we are ready to work as a Nigerian, we should begin to press our government to change our education system. That is the very first and basic. You see, the education system we run in this country, we are just being taught to write and talk. We write nonsense and talk nonsense. We don't get anything to hold on to. At the end of the day, we wasted our time, spent our money and resources, and we have nothing, no value for what we are spending. Do you know, as me and you were talking here, Burkina Faso has changed their rules. They've changed a lot of their system. They are telling foreigners, you cannot take our raw materials out of our land again. Leave it here, do whatever you want to produce here. You cannot take raw material out. But what happened in Nigeria, every second our raw material is being exported. Every second, from virtually every state in Nigeria. Go to every state in Nigeria and give it your time. You discover that every state have one thing or the other to offer.
All right.
So what happened? They took all out. In my own state, virtually every local government have something offering, but they are taking it out. They are taking everything out. So our education system should be changed to the format that, for example, as a computer science in school, why is it difficult for government to provide the necessary computer systems that before you step out or before you finish your program in school, you are able to produce something? In China, some of the phones we use is from the school practical they did.
All right, Raimi, we might have to let you go. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much. Your point is very well taken. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from, very quickly.
All right, my name is Chinonso from Kaduna State.
Chinonso from Kaduna State. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, thank you again for the explanation and the example you gave to all this morning. Not how to eat fish, but how to catch. Not how to eat the fish, but how to catch the fish. So, but the point I want to make is this morning that how is that in this country are we serious at all? How can you share a 20 trucks of rice for state? Wait, if we eat the rice, is it the solution? So I don't understand. In a country whereby we have more than 200 this thing in a number, why can't them get factory companies that will produce things that even though too cheap, we don't have the meaningful, like in data, most of the hotels, most of the businesses, hotels and rest, without companies that can produce things that you can, other people can come and buy, or you can also export outside Nigeria. So that's my conclusion.
Thank you so much, Chinedu. Very well taken. I'll take my last call before we go ahead. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, KAFTAN.
Good morning. I came from Lagos. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. Well, I won't take much of the time. The thing is just that I'm in line with what all Nigerians are saying. I think President Annabel should have taken should have an example from Muhammadu Buhari time when they were distributing money, when they were distributing rice. All these things they were distributing had no effect on the Nigerians. The reason being that those that are to be distributing it are hijacking it. It's a pure truth. Okay? So I don't see reason why this government should should continue in this line as well, because there is no way that the distribution will be fairly done, and even if it is going to be fairly done, it cannot even get to 5% of people that needed it. Okay, even they have to do it that way. So the best thing, I think the best thing is if government thinks they want to assist in second story, they want to assist. Why not government selling the rice at a cheaper price? That would be better in order to crash another price. They can use that system instead of saying they want to share it. Because saying that they want to share it, Mr. President should make investigation. These people are just playing Nigeria. Mr. President might not know. That is the fact. He might not know. But they bring ideas to him, and in order for them to get their own soup cooked. So so well in their house. That is just it. Nigerians, and we are not stupid now. We know what is going on. They should just stop this thing. Mr. President should set people to be investigating for him.
Thank you, Akim.
God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
God bless you too, Akim from Lagos. I'm sorry we cannot take any other call. Let's just quickly analyze on some other stories. Let's move to another story. The Nation newspaper says Nigeria to export petroleum products by December, and that's coming from NNPCL boss. It says Port Harcourt refinery will begin operation next month. That's in August. Same with the Kaduna refinery in December. Does this give you, is this cherry news for you? All of because we've been hearing this on and on. So
you've got it. You've got it.
Are you seeing the cup as half full or half empty?
Well, I'm a very optimistic human being that believes that something gonna be all right, and that all things works for our good. Now, the problem is that who is speaking? Has he been speaking, and has he been consistent or inconsistent in keeping his promise? I used to belong to a group they call Promise Keepers. It's an international men's organization.
Okay.
And the focus was that if you're a father and you are not keeping promise to your wife and to your children, you eventually will grow to discover that the children do no longer have confidence in you as father. Since the APC came on board, it has been we will, and we have never seen anyone done. Just the other day, Dangote began to complain that it is becoming difficult to get crude to refine. Now, it's not up to 1 month or so. The NNPC are coming to tell us that, look, we are not only going to have crude, petroleum product, but we are going to export.
It means we have enough to take care of our needs.
That's the implication of this promise, you know. So I would have been more comfortable if they would say, look, we are going to solve our domestic
long queues.
Yes, we are going to solve our domestic petroleum product challenges in the next XYZ months, you know. So Nigeria, relax, just be hopeful. And then by the time they have sufficiently fed us, and we just be hearing from the grapevine that they are already exporting, not them telling us that they want to export. We want to have sufficient for domestic consumption. And by the time we are having, and everyone is rejoicing, oh, come on, the petroleum product we were talking about is everywhere. So, come on, guy, have you not heard that NNP is already exporting? Not them telling us. They have been telling us, and they have been telling us over and over again. And we have seen nothing coming out of it. The worst is that it is becoming clearer that the cartel that kept the crude and the petroleum product the way it is, the cartel that has vowed never to allow our refineries to work, are elites.
That's the one Dangote was referring to.
Not just his own. How long have we been trying to put Kaduna refinery to work? Worry? Element? How long? So there is a cartel that imports this crude product, this petroleum product, finished product, who makes so much money out of this importation that they will not live to see those refinery work.
And that's the same thing you have in security.
It's everywhere.
There's always a merchandise.
It's everywhere. This is man's inhumanity to man. It is not. That is why when President Bola Tinubu came out with this food distribution, I saw it as lovable, because he is just telling us, come on, just eat, we are coming. When will you be ready to tell us the real solution to our problem? Where are you going to put structures in place to tackle the energy deficiency When are you going to put structures in place to tackle our food insecurity? Why are you pacifying us? Because this thing is like bribery as far as I'm concerned.
Is that what you see it as?
Of course, so that the public will not revolt. We are bringing rice, just eat. Meanwhile, allegation that such huge sum of money like $100 million has been spent in purchasing a presidential jet. They have not refuted it because they know it's true. They are more concerned about their comfort and about the comfort of their supporters. Let me tell you, this rice distribution is just another way of giving money to the boys. Those that
so
are
this is job for the boys.
Of course, those that are going to import the rice, those that are going to provide the trailers to distribute, those that are going to receive from all the delivery ends. There are people that will be in charge. They are the ones that they are feeding, not Nigerians.
Interesting. Let's move to other stories. Our time is fast spent, even though our phone lines are buzzing, but we need to take some other stories. Nigerian Tribune says local government autonomy FAC meets today as federal government may delay implementation of Supreme Court judgment for 3 months. But the writers there says Oyo will prioritize its people, deal with the challenges coming from Sheyi Makinde. What are your thoughts on this? I thought we are ready.
That's another how do I put it so that I will not offend the Supreme Court that gave the judgment? Financial autonomy, yes, but did they remove the money from FAC? From JAC, from a joint account committee? No, they didn't. They're only saying that we have given you financial autonomy. Let's face it.
So in whose place is it to remove it from JAC?
Well, if they remove it from the federation account,
right,
I will find that it is contravening the constitution, because the Supreme Court did not address that. On the other hand, JAC is the baby of the governor. So he determines how to the baby should sleep, what the baby should wear, and so on and so forth. If we want our local government system to work, we go beyond the Supreme Court judgment. We ask ourselves, why should the federal government get involved in creating local government? Why won't they, as they have created states, the federal government have created states, why wouldn't they allow the states to create the number of local government they can run? If the states creates the local government by themselves, the number they want to run, the number they can fund, it becomes easy for them to oversight those local government areas. Of course, the State House of Assembly will always be involved in the creation of the local government area. But here we have a local government areas that were created by federal government, and then they are tucked behind the administration of the state. Can't you see that something is not adding up somewhere?
So now it now looks like the governors will now tell the local government chairman that wants to come and meet them to say, look at the Supreme Court judgment. Now it now looks like, okay, go and tell the Supreme Court to come and take the money away from JAC now.
Because no matter how you want to look at it, I know of a government, I'm not going to mention a name now, between 1999 and 2007, the arrangement was just simple. I've collected 100 million for your local government, boy. So you come and sign 36 million. You will come and take 36 million, but you sign that you have received 100 million. Is that okay by you? If it's not okay by you, I will replace you. I say, Oga,
it's okay.
Well, how you go replace me now? It's okay by me.
And he would also remove from the 36 million too.
Of course. So they will come and sign. 36 million will be credited to the account. They will sign that they have received 100 million. That governor did it for nearly 8 years. At a time, the local government tenure used to run for 3 years. Now, when he realized that he has so many boys to satisfy, he ran to the House of Assembly and said, come on, make the tenure of the local government to be 2 years, so that these boys that are already in queue, all of them will have a taste of the local government.
It's really sad. Our time is fast spent. Let's quickly take this last topic before we let you go. In 1 minute, if you can help us. Trump's attempted assassination. A lot of conspiracy theory going on social media. Some people say with that hand that he gave the Wakanda forever kind of... what are your thoughts on this? Some people say it's staged. Some people say so many things. What do you think?
You know, Trump is a mystery to the American people and to the world. I was wondering, how come that the rooftop where that young man, Matthew Crook, was lying with his rifle, gun, you know, the other side of the roof, there were security men with well-loaded guns, you know. How come that they didn't notice the presence of that young man? Let's believe that they didn't. Let's believe that everything was not a setup. Many people are advancing reasons for you to begin to doubt everything that happened last Saturday. But whatever happened, I think it has drew a lot of sympathy for Trump, and the American public are no longer talking about his the racist inclination. Even the young man that he picked as his running mate, J.D. Vance, is known for his racist disposition. So nobody is talking about it now. All we know is that every vote is going to Donald J. Trump.
And that's all. To them, that's all that matters. Thank you so much, Obadiah and Mbila, for your time with us. It's always a pleasure having these discussions.
It's my pleasure.